Welcome, everyone. We're doing another episode of Indie Reads Aloud. Today, I have a really special episode for you. Not long ago, the Detroit Book Fest happened down at Eastern Market here in downtown Detroit, and there were authors from all over the country. And one of those authors was Jacob Hubbard, and he is from California. And Jacob and I had a really nice chat at the festival and about his book. So it's sitting here waiting for me to read it. But I thought that maybe we could all get a little preview. So I invited Jacob onto the show. Welcome, Jacob.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you foraged your way out to Detroit so that we could meet. I'm really excited about your story
hmm
and I'm just really excited to support you as an author as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure. For those of you who don't live in California and may not have met Jacob yet, Jacob Hubbard is a neurodivergent writer and college writing teacher based in San Diego. With a bachelor's of English and a master's in rhetoric, Jacob has cultivated a love of writing in all its forms, being drawn to stories about very human experiences, even if they are rooted in the fantastical. I love this idea that you have a degree in rhetoric.
hmm
What was it that made you decide that rhetoric was something you wanted to study so intensely?
I have a fascination with how language persuades people. And when we talk about rhetoric, I have a fascination with how words influence the way people think and behave. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to get my degree in rhetoric, because rhetoric is a way of how language itself influences our perception of reality, basically. It kind of borrows the idea from rhetorical theorist Kenneth Burke's idea of the deterministic screens, where you take ideas and words and terminologies, and that provides like a filter of how you see the world. So rhetoric, in that sense, fascinates me in that regard.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I was just speaking with another author friend of mine not long ago, and we were talking about how rhetoric isn't just about argument, it's
Right.
about having that discord.
Right. And I would say rhetoric is not just about argument, but it's about discourse, as you said. It's also about language, how we view the world, how language influences our perception of the world.
Absolutely. How exciting. Oh my gosh. I wish I'd known you years ago. We could have studied together. So what is it that you're currently teaching in this term in the college setting?
So I teach mainly business writing and technical writing as part of my regular day job at San Diego State University. So like I am a full-time lecturer in business writing. I also a writing consultant for engineers.
How very cool. Um, Technical writing, engineering writing, business writing, those are all things that are really on the other end of the spectrum from
hmm
novel writing. So what was it that got you interested in wanting to write a novel?
Well, the business writing is just my day job, basically, but it's not my number one goal, basically. But it's something I
Right.
do enjoy teaching and analyzing. What I really Novel writing is something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid, and I've written stories growing up. I've written handwritten novels when I was a young little boy,
Mm-hmm.
basically. I've attempted a novel in the past. That didn't work out. Thank God it didn't work out because looking back now, that was garbage. And then I
I think
wrote
we all have one of those in our bottom drawer of the desk.
Yeah, that book is probably going to stay in my drawer forever, basically. It's never going
Yeah.
to finish it. And that's fine. It was basically a test run of where I am now, which ironically the book I written, Sounds of Yesterday, kind of serves as somewhat of a standalone sequel to that book I started writing years ago that I never finished. So, kind of works out, you know?
And then maybe someday down the road you'll want to finish the first book.
Maybe. We'll
Just
see.
just to bookend it. It might be fun.
Yeah,
With
it's there.
with yeah, with every book though, our skills get stronger and we become better storytellers. Um,
Absolutely 100%, you
and
know.
sometimes we go back and polish those old pieces, and sometimes they just sit in drawers. I had a conversation with an amazing author, Steve Barry. He's an NYT bestseller. He has like, I don't know, 40 books out there or something.
hmm
And I was fortunate enough to meet him, and he said the first 6 books he wrote were garbage and they're
hmm
never going to see the light of day.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, that's comforting to know because it means we're all kind of in the same situation.
For me, it was three books I wrote and never don't plan to ever publish, and because they're garbage,
Right,
you know.
right. But we do have to cut our teeth on something, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, the book you're going to be sharing with us today is Sounds of Yesterday. Can you kind of give us a synopsis, an overall view of what this story is about?
Sure, absolutely. It is a breakup story. It's told from the perspective of an autistic person. So essentially, it's a relationship story between two people, Rob and Anna, over the course of 5 years during the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's basically a relationship story from the point of view of Rob, where he's reflecting on the end of that relationship to figure out what went wrong, why did it end. He's dealing with heartbreak and grief, and in the process, it's forcing him as an autistic person confront his internalized ableism and unresolved traumas and insecurities as a neurodivergent person in today's world. And so the book explores what love and loss is, and especially what empathy looks like through a neurodivergent lens.
Okay, that's very cool. And that's exactly why I bought this book at the festival,
Mm-hmm.
was because I think that's a conversation that we don't have enough.
Mm-hmm.
So before you begin to read, I do need to give all of my listeners a little bit of a heads up. There is a listener advisory for this book. It is technically a book for grown-ups, as we like to say. It
Mm-hmm.
does contain strong language, mature situations, and mental health struggles. So my suggestion is, listeners out there, if you have little ears nearby, you might want to preview this episode before you let the little ones listen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead, Jacob.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
All right, go ahead.
Oh, start reading? Okay, yes.
So when you're ready, set your timer because I don't like to interrupt anybody,
Mm-hmm.
and take the microphone and read it aloud from Sounds of Yesterday.
All right. I'll go ahead and start the timer now. Anyway, before I begin, I'm going to read chapter 20 to give you set up some context for what chapter 20 is. It's midway through the book. It dives into a little bit of the some of the high points of Rob and Anna's relationship right before COVID officially happened. So let's give some context there. So I'll go ahead and start reading from chapter 20.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and get started. Chapter 20. June 30th, 2019. Today was a day I would help Anna move into her new place. I was practicing another one of my guitar solos when Anna, out of the blue, told me last week through Facebook Messenger she was moving out of the room she was renting in Rancho Penasquitos. I'm moving to a new place starting July 1st, she texted. Finally, my own place. It's even 5 minutes away from my office. The property manager was allowing her to move into a place a day early since the previous tenant had already moved out. So I offered to rent a U-Haul truck for furniture she would not be able to fit in her car. In the U-Haul, we went to La Jolla to pick up the furniture for the new granny flat attached to a house she would be renting in Mira Mesa. She will only be 15 minutes away from me now, I thought. My forehead began to drip with sweat as we carried the heavy dining room table through the side gate and into the kitchen area of the living space. I didn't think about how miserably hot I was going to be when I offered to do this with her. Once all the furniture was in place, I drank water and wiped my forehead before standing in front of Anna in the kitchen area, wrapping my arms around her waist and smiling down at her. We did it! I exclaimed. Anna looked up at me as she wrapped her arms back around my waist, her mouth wide open and closing her eyes while making a playful goth sound before we kissed. We hugged for a bit and then looked into each other's eyes. How does it feel to finally have a place to call your own? I asked. Anna smiled. It feels so great. I am so glad I don't have to share a bathroom with an annoying roommate anymore. No one from the rest of the house can stay in here, right? I asked. Nope, Anna assured. The only way they can get in this part of the house is through the side gate. That means you can finally have me come over on weekends and they won't care, I tease. Anna chuckled. Of course. I kissed Anna on the head before we let go. Anna stretched her arms and got a water bottle from the mini fridge as I surveyed the kitchen area, admiring the hard work we put into furnishing the place with a long dining table, a shelf for boxes, and a folding table to put a rice cooker and a portable stove. As Anna drank some water, I looked over at the entryway between the kitchen and the bedroom and noticed something I didn't notice before. I just realized you don't have a door here, I said, pointing to the entryway. Yeah, the property manager told me they removed the door when they made it into the granny flat, Anna said. I don't know why. It seems silly to me. Maybe you can ask them to install a door, I suggested. You get even more privacy than that way. Anna shrugged. Maybe. A door would be nice. Probably not right now, but hopefully in the future. I didn't say anything else as I surveyed the room again, taking another sip of water. I have to go take the U-Haul back. Would it be okay if I came back afterwards? Sure. I headed over to the sliding door. Oh, before you go, there's something that you should know, Anna said. What's that? I'm going to have a no shoes in the house rule, so when you get back, make sure you leave your shoes outside. I nodded. I then noticed a large box filled with shoes by the sliding door. By the way, if I see a shoe rack, do you want me to get it for you? I asked. If you want, you don't have to. We said goodbye before I left to return the U-Haul. I dropped the U-Haul off around 5 p.m. and sat in my car in the parking lot scrolling through Facebook Marketplace. I know Anna said I didn't have to, but I wanted to find a high quality shoe rack at a reasonable price on the way back to her place as a surprise for her. I stumbled upon one for $10, advertised by someone who lived in the same neighborhood as Anna. I sent him a message asking if it was still available. As I waited for his response, I began to think about the possibility of moving in with Anna. Would I even be able to afford to, considering how unstable work in general has been? Would she be open to the idea at some point? As these questions swirled in my head, Anna texts me. Anna, I'm going to head to Vaughn's real quick and get stuff for dinner. You want me to get something specific for you? Before I could respond, the person selling the shoe rack messaged me back. The shoe rack was available, so I told them I would pick it up in a bit before responding to Anna's text. Rob, can you get me a Diet Coke and also some strawberries? We can have strawberries for dessert tonight. Also, I just dropped off the U-Haul, but I have to do a quick errand, so I'll be over in an hour or so. I then started the car, getting another text before I was about to drive away. Anna, sounds good. I'll probably take a shower after we get food, but if you're not there when I get back, I'll leave the gate unlocked for you. I grinned as I drove out of the parking lot. I stopped at my house to take a quick shower, grab my pajama pants, and then drove to Mira Mesa to pick up the shoe rack before arriving back at Anna's place. She left the gate unlocked like she said she would. I left my shoes outside on the doormat in front of the sliding door like I promised. She opened the door for me, expressing gratitude for the shoe rack before placing it by the door, and went back to cooking steamed rice and Chinese sausage. I sat at the table, making a comment about how the carpet under my feet felt so nice as she served us plates of food once it was ready. Sometime after dinner that evening, we cuddled in bed as she opened up her laptop for us to watch a movie. As she scrolled through Hulu, I looked around the room itself, amazed at the wide open space. You really scored with this place, I said. How much do you pay a month if you don't mind me asking? It's definitely higher than what I was renting before. 1200 a month? Jeez. Anna shrugged. I prefer to have my own place, so I think it's worth it. Is that why you prefer not to have anyone wear shoes in the house? Not really. Is it because you're Asian? I tease. I know not having shoes in the house is usually an Asian thing. Growing up, every Asian family I knew did not allow us to have shoes in the house, Anna said. I didn't really believe in any of the cultural or supposedly spiritual reasons for leaving shoes outside the house, but there are practical health benefits in doing so. No tracking in mud, not spreading germs, all that. That all makes sense. I sighed. Hopefully someday I could have a place like this. I then thought about asking her if she would be interested in me moving in or maybe living together, but decided since she had just moved in that day, it probably wasn't the best time. Did you get classes for the fall? Anna asked. I have four, I said. I'm still waiting to hear from Megan if I'm getting a fifth one. Anna continued scrolling to find something for us to watch. I don't know how long I can keep this up, I continued. I tutor only 10 hours a week, and I only teach at state in fall semesters. And when I'm not, I'm wearing out my car, delivering people food. State needs to give me a permanent contract. Hopefully, you get that fifth class. I sighed again. It makes it hard to save, even harder to contribute to my Roth IRA, which again, I can't thank you enough for helping me with that. Stuff like that takes time. You save as much as you are able to afford. I know, it's just hard. Anna didn't respond as she found a movie for us to watch. How about this one? Sure, whatever you want. As she started the movie, I looked around the room again, suddenly noticing the small nightstand in front of the bed and how it contrasted with the wide open space of the room. That would be a good place to put a vinyl planer, I thought. You have work in the morning, right? I asked. I do. Is it okay if I spend the night? I'll leave in the morning. Anna nodded. That's fine. Can you turn the light off for me? Of course. I got off, turned off the light, and went back to bed. We watched the movie for the next hour or so before I found myself with my hand on her chest. I placed a few kisses on her cheek, and Anna gently grabbed my hand and let me rub her breasts. We did this for a few minutes before she closed the laptop, put it aside, and wrapped her arms around me. We made out for a while, slowly taking our clothes off before I realized something. "Oh shit," I whispered right as Anna was just taken off her shirt. "I forgot condoms." Anna wrapped her hands around my neck. "It's okay," she whispered, smiling. "I'm on the pill." I was taken aback. "Wait, are you sure?" Anna nodded. "It's okay. I trust you." I smiled. "If you trust me, then I trust you." We kissed again and embraced for another evening of intimacy. August 18th, 2019. I started setting up my dad's vinyl player in Anna's bedroom as she cooked us spicy chicken ramen for dinner. It took time and gentle nudging, but I was finally able to convince Anna to let me bring it over just for one weekend so she could hear what music from a vinyl player sounds like. I had already placed the vinyl player on the nightstand in front of her bed when I began looking for the electrical outlet. "Rob, dinner's ready," Anna shouted from the kitchen. "Be right there," I said as I plugged in the cord. Anna was already at the table eating when I came in. I made myself a bowl, thanking Anna for dinner as I grabbed a can of Diet Coke from the mini fridge, sitting across from her at the table. "You're not going to have milk with that?" Anna asked when I sat down. "I have my soda," as I said as I held my can up. "Dude, you're eating spicy ramen. It's going to be hot for you." I shook my head. "I can handle spicy ramen. Just like how you were able to handle that Carolina Reaper you tried at the street fair in Carlsbad we went to a couple weeks ago. This one's different. Here, I'll prove it." I took a couple of bites of my food. As I chewed my food, my eyes slowly started to water. "You insisted on spicy ramen tonight, so don't say I didn't warn you." I swallowed my ramen and took a big gulp of my soda. "See, wasn't that spicy?" I exclaimed as I tried to hide how my mouth felt like it was on fire. "I could tell by the look on your face you're such a terrible liar," she teased. I drank my entire can of soda, then excused myself to grab the jug of milk from the fridge and pour myself a glass before coming back to the table. "I heard you're talking to your mom on the phone when I was setting up the vinyl player," I said at one point. "Everything okay with her?" "She's fine," Anna said. "Today's her birthday, so she called to thank me for the gift card and then talk my ear off like she usually does." "Oh, nice. Happy birthday to your mom." Anna took another bite. "She's been asking me about grandchildren again. I keep telling her I'm not interested in having kids. She should bother Mary about it instead." "Kids are expensive anyway, especially in this economy," I said. "I know, right? She's not getting any grandchildren from me." "There you go," I exclaimed. "Tell her who's boss." Anna chuckled. "If I were to have a kid, I would prefer to have a boy. Easier to raise." I nodded. I could see that. "Do you want kids someday?" Anna asked. I took a moment to figure out how to respond. "I don't know, to be honest. I go back and forth on that. I don't care one way or the other. I guess for me, if I were to have kids, I wouldn't want them to go through some of the same things I went through growing up. I would want to be more proactive in their schooling, which I don't know I would be in a position to do so." "That makes sense," Anna said. "Right now, I'm more focused on trying to build a stable career. Fall semester starts soon, so I'm preparing for that." "Any updates on classes for spring?" Anna asked. "No, nothing yet. I'm hoping to get something in spring, but I'm not counting on it. We'll see, though. How about you? How's work been?" Anna took a sip of water. "Work is fine. Been having to go all these networking events lately, and it's so annoying. I hate networking." "I do too," I exclaimed. "They should just magically make us all billionaires so we don't have to work anymore." Anna laughed. "Exactly." We eventually finished our dinner. I offered to clean up for her as she went to the bedroom to change into her pajamas. After I finished cleaning up and putting the dishes away, I turned the kitchen light off and went to the bedroom. Anna sat at the edge of the bed as I went over to the vinyl player, picked up the vinyl disc that was next to my backpack, and put it on the turntable. "You ready to hear good quality music?" I playfully asked. "If you say so," she teased. "What song are you gonna play?" I slowly placed the needle on the disc. "Something that makes me think about my dad every time I listen to it." The vinyl player took a moment to load up before Don McLean's American Pie began to play. "You heard this one before, right?" "I know of it," Anna said. I sat next to Anna on the bed. Now you get to hear it in its original glory. We held hands and we sat there, listening to the song. Don McLean is great, I said. This one isn't my personal favorite of his, but this one's always makes me think about my dad. He loved this song. He would always play it for us when we were kids. It's nice, Anna said. I like it. I smiled as I laid down and absorbed the melody. Is that why you listen to so much old music? Anna asked. Is it because of your dad? I took a moment to think about how I wanted to answer her. In some ways, yeah. In other ways, something about old music resonated with me so much. I love newer stuff too, don't get me wrong, but something about older music speaks to me. I squeezed Anna's hand tighter as American Pie kept playing. I started to appreciate older music more after I began community college, I continued. I was still angry over what I had been through with my old high school, quote unquote, if you even want to call that place a school. I majored in English because I loved writing and I wanted to study literature. That explains why you have so many books in your room, Anna teased. As a kid, I loved writing and I loved books. What can I say? I was still angry over what I'd been through with my old high school when I started taking guitar lessons and listening to more music. I let go of some of that anger. I remember reading this one book in the library for a lit class I was taking, and I found the description of music that stuck with me for a long time. What book was that? Anna asked. Don't remember, but the author described older music as the sounds of yesterday. Then someone wrote in the margin that made them think about what tomorrow had in store for them. I thought that was really interesting, but for a long time, I didn't know what exactly it meant. Then one day, it made me think about everything I've been through, and suddenly it clicked. The way I see it now, the reason I listen to older music is because when I take the time to listen to the sounds of yesterday, they make me remember the promises of tomorrow. What kind of promises? Anna asks. The way I understand it, they're the promise of a better future and the promise that everything will be okay, no matter what, I said, smiling.
Thank you very, very much. I was having problems getting my microphone to turn back on.
You're good.
Thank you so much. That was a great reading. Now I really want to read this book to find out more about these two.
Hmm.
What did you find? You said three books previously. So what did you find was the component or the element of this story that made you want to finish it?
Well, to be honest with you, I was dealing with grief, and grief is what kept me going, and without going into too much spoilers, this book is
Mm-hmm.
based on actual events that I went through, so it's
Okay.
semi-autobiographical in that regard. Obviously, I took some creative liberties, but it is based on an actual relationship I've been through.
Okay.
And for me, it was to honor that relationship and to process that grief. That's what kept me going.
So the storytelling was very cathartic for you.
Hmm.
Awesome. Awesome. So you also told me in the green room that you are working on another book. Can you
I
tell
am.
us a little bit about that?
Sure. I can't tell. I don't want to give too much away, but
No, I don't want you to give too much
right.
away. I just kind of want to have a little inside track.
So it's it has it touches on similar themes to Sounds of Yesterday, but a much more grander and much more fantastical scale, and something related to the 1980s and 1960s. And I'll just leave it at that for now.
Perfect. Okay. And do you have an idea when it might be released?
I'm hoping I get the first draft of it done by mid 2026. That's the hope. That's the fingers crossed hopeful. And hopefully I get the final draft done and released by 2027 in time for the 50th anniversary of Star Wars.
Beautiful. I like it. I like it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the program today, Jacob. I'm really
Thank you.
grateful that you took some time out of your day, and I know it's 3 hours different on the West Coast, so it's pretty
Mhm.
early for you out there. I do
Mhm.
appreciate your time,
Of course, anytime.
and good luck with the book.
Thank you.